SBCR L7 SW. All right, Mr. H. Peace. Halftime Waju. True Power. Luke Cage. Queen Mecca. Let me make sure I share this on my other pages real quick. Everybody do the each one, teach one. Hit the like button and share this on your other pages, your Facebook and your Instagram, text messages, Universal 7, the Facebook groups, etc., etc. That's how we get our alerts out now. You know what I'm saying? Hit the like button, the bar. It's the deal. And as y'all can tell, we're going to be continuing Conspiracy Week. A little Conspiracy Week, I guess you can tell from the title right here today. More lockdowns and vaccines. In New York today, they just put a new lockdown. Yes, that's peace to bar. No doubt that. Check that out. The Antediluvian King. Check that out. That's definitely something I think you're going to enjoy. Universal Center said the vision they've had in place for the original people all over the planet Earth can be more clear at this time. The time is always now to show and prove that which of us are survivors. I ain't going I ain't going easy for no vaccines if they make it mandatory. All the articles and videos I've seen of people dying right after they you test dummies isn't for me. Um, I'm pretty uh uh I've already crossed the Rubicon where they already know. Like if any of this stuff is true, then they already have my accommodations ready at the concentration camp. The Black Lives Matter director, original woman, wrote a letter to Biden and Harris to do something for the black people during their upcoming administration. Governor Cuomo is pushing for overriding religious exemptions in reference to declining use of COVID vaccines in New York. Well, yeah, that's pretty much, they did that. Was that was 2 years ago? They came in and, you know, something was happening like in the Jewish community, so they ended up passing the. Uh, I'm not sure it's actually a law because there's still, there's certain things that they got to pass certain laws and really be able to force you to take vaccines and things of that nature. You know, they could just, they could bar you from the benefits of society. So in other words, they might tell you, your kids can't go to school or something of that nature. I'm not saying it can't be done. UK said don't know what to think about the vaccine, knowing the history of vaccines and the original people. I mean, said even though we survived all attempts, they still try and continue doing their job. John Ireland, yeah, it's definitely one of those things where let me see you do it first. That's my mentality. Let me see you uh, take that step before I take it. Bill Gates popped up out of the blue again. Oh man, and Bill Gates is just a bad spokesperson. Carlos Clark, nah, he wasn't new. Carlos Clark been around for a while, but Bill Gates is just not a good spokesperson. Like if you trying to do, something diabolical, why would you pick Bill Gates? Like just the way he looked, or maybe it's something about me, you know, but maybe I'm stereotyping in the way that they stereotype, brothers. All right, peace from Trinidad. That's a giant shout out right there. You in Trinidad? But yeah, that's peace to Antediluvian King is y'all listening out there in Trinidad? Marima Uncensored. Welcome to the channel. Hit the subscribe button for me. But yeah, okay, biotech, like if he behind the scenes SW, he's the type of person to me that's just like, look, uh, you need we just need a better spokesperson. Bill Gates has already been kicked out of whole countries. If there's whole countries where they just say, look, man, leave and never come back. He's banned. What's in new? He's canceled. And I mean, I think that's pretty common knowledge. So that's one of the things that makes me say, like, why would you know, why would he be the spokesperson? But to me, the way I see that is, like I always say, the biggest risk for, when you got a small group of people, a 10% or 1%, like they say here in America, the biggest fear that they're gonna have is the masses of the people coming together. So in some ways, you know what I'm saying, uh, uh, well, really, really in all ways, you know what I'm saying, they're gonna seek to control the population, whether it's mentally or physically. You know what I'm saying? And so, to me, this is he's continuing in uh, the the footsteps of Nelson Rockefeller. Like all of those different groups that they be a part of. You know what I'm saying? Uh, what do they call those? Like the trilateral commissions and the Bilderberg groups and all those things that, you know, Bill Gates was ushered in, you know what I'm saying, as the richest person in the world at that time. You know what I'm saying? And he kind of just picked up this population control thing from uh, Rockefeller. Like I said, this is I guess we resume in conspiracy week. The boss said they can't get any part of the U.S. or they can't yet in any part of the U.S. though. If I had never had COVID, no job can force the vaccine on. Hmm. But yeah, see, you still got certain, because a lot of these statutes, they're local. But on a federal level, that still is the constitutionality of these things is suspect. But you know, at the end of the day, man, 2020, the plot thickens because now you also got the situation where uh, you know who you think is who you think is who you think is more likely, or who do you think is going to or who you think might attempt to institute the most draconian policies. Because remember, right now we're in a situation where when this vaccine hits, right, at first it's going to be Trump over at least the next month and a half or something. Trump is going to be the one who has to administer it. But then once January kick in, at least the way things stand right now, then you're going to have to deal with Biden. So who do we want? Who would we rather? Who do we want to be the one to administer the vaccine? Jabbar said, if I work for the feds as far as Maryland, I tell them as it is, no is no. I'll wear the mask in the nursing home all year round. Them sound be juice for the God. I mean, yeah, I'm with you. Plus it's this is you know, there's still a lot of things they don't know. Mr. H said Biden seems to want to rush it. Why son-in-law? It's still things like, for instance, they like how long they've been testing. Like they don't know how it's going to interact in your body years from now. Like they've been doing it a couple of months. So, all right, you gave them the vaccine and it was 95% effective, but for how long? You know what I'm saying? And then the bar, you probably know better than me. What's the type of things that can happen? You know what I mean? Meaning, uh, them, the whatever this thing is, right? Them causing it to mutate. Like it's still all these things that's unknown. You know, uh, since July, essential health workers get tested weekly. West Coast Wise said they playing the nurse's role in 28th degree. Yeah, SW. Yeah, a year later, you growing a tail from your earlobe. People going to the doctor. Wondering why. To find truth. Right, Mr. H said it took said it should take years to put out a so-called safe vaccine. You know what I mean? Because that's what I'm saying. Let us all not forget that even from the very beginning, they suspended all types of rules that the establishment is supposed to go according to in terms of the testing, and how much testing they had to do in order to get this approved. That was already what they said. Like they had to relax. They had to relax some of the rules in order for them to even say they was going to have a vaccine within 2 years. Before they were saying at least 2 years. Now all of a sudden one pops up like that. That's why I said I'll wait for the next go round. Right? Arena Census said nice bill, but I believe they on that population control. I mean, that's kind of what I'm saying, or what I'm asking, because 2020, has been just one plot inside of another plot inside of another plot on top of another plot all year long. The sequel 2021 is probably, we probably looking at one of those rare times when the sequel is better than the first one. Right, West Coast wise, we can't forget the Tuskegee experiments. Why Senate said it seems like the Dems want to rush the vaccine, and also, uh, you know, one thing I've been hearing about is how there has to be this push to make sure that Black people get it. Now, I'm saying everybody can read it how they want to read it, but I'm saying I'm noticing that that came up when Biden was speaking on it. He was like, we have to make sure that there's no. He said we have to make sure that there's no racial disparity. And he was saying how some of our communities may not have a clinic or may not have a CVS or a Rite Aid. So if that's the way that they planning to give out the vaccines, that there would be Black people who don't get it. So that's what I read into it, is that you want to make sure, you know, and then see now once you separate it like that, like nah, even if it's gonna be nah, I'd rather drive however far I gotta drive and get a random one. I don't want you making one that you sent over here for me specifically. I don't want that. I want to see you rip the seal on the thing. And that's if I trusted you to give it to me in the first place. 793rd, so the third quarter next year, everything else is political posturing. What do you think is going to jump off in the third quarter next year? Brilliant Innovation said Albert Bourla is a Greek business executive and veterinarian who serves as chairman and chief executive officer, CEO of the American Pharmaceutical Corporation, Pfizer. A veterinarian? Yeah, I don't think I like that. Veterinarian. See how we practicing a different kind of medicine. The boss said some nursing home tests are now being stretched to every 2 weeks now to save supply of test kits. So far, current tests for COVID N1 and N2, which looks like the old COVID and the new resistant one. So it's already, so Dubai in that case, if it's already mutated and the people who's only getting vaccinated against the first one, that's kind of what is that? That means it's kind of a waste of time anyway, isn't it? Queen Medina, stop it, man. But Jay, I guess it will be some lawsuits going down. Bill Gates made a statement where he was with where he just made a statement about Biden winning. I guess he figured he'd get more his vaccines off. Yeah, I heard Trump was out playing golf. I didn't really pay him all that much mind. Hmm. SW said the new way of dropping a bomb on our neighborhoods is to make sure we get these vaccines. That's what, I just noticed that not that I just noticed it in time, but it was just something out of everything he was saying. Uh, you have to make sure that there's no racial disparity in giving this out. Next time you're giving out money, I want you to make sure it's no racial, no racial disparity. You know what I'm saying? But this right here, you go ahead, you go ahead and let Jethro get mine. You go ahead and let Jethro get mine this time. I'm good. Wow, great innovation. Said Albert Bourla sold 62% of his stock on the same day the company announced its experimental COVID-19 vaccine succeeded in clinical trials 11 hours ago. You saying this came on the news, or you did some of your own research? Because I think that's against the law. And their stock was booming that day. Time to cash out. Queen Medina said they're not going to give us a check without the vaccine. Now they got to give you a check. But trust me, they know enough about black people to know that they better get those checks out. So 793rd said the vaccine shots ain't going to be ready till the third quarter anyway. Hmm. I do know it. I mean, they said that, it's been effective so far, but yes, you know, you still, I need, look, just let somebody else get my cut for the next couple of years. I'll be like the bar. I just wear the mask, man. Or you could just put me in the concentration camp. I'm not going to be in the first wave. Right? What Kay said, if you don't see or show any symptoms, now your seeds might, ultimately, uh, because I know this once this new season cuts in, my daughter was, valiant. She really loves school, but you know, you done over there. Like I said, not none of us is going to be in that first wave of people, because you're not going to see it right now, but anybody that if you ever read medical literature, or if you ever see something, like it might even be in the case of a lawsuit where a drug comes out or whatever product comes out, right? And then 10 years later, they say, yeah, well, we had a 10-year study on this. And after that 10 years, we've determined that this causes this ailment right here. So that means that all those first people that bought that was still the guinea pigs. Like right now, I don't care how safe it is. Just the fact that they came up with it so quickly, right? You're going to have people immediately that's going to be opening up studies of how this worked, how it went down. Documenting it, in case they need to use it again. the side effects and all of that. They're not gonna tell you right now that yeah, y'all are, real life. Somebody put the word guinea pigs. Y'all are real life guinea pigs right here. After 10 years of doing these or studying people who had the vaccine, the people who got the vaccine in 2019 versus the people who got it in 2020, versus the people who got it both years, the people who got it at this age, the people who got it at that age, they're gonna have to study, especially because they haven't really completed the study before they put it out. So I'm not going to be in that wave. I'm on Facebook. Yeah, I don't know what happened. I think it's because I took too long to come on tonight. But on Facebook, I got the feed. The feed from YouTube is on Facebook. So if we get any of our Facebook people over here, you know what I'm saying? If you're on Facebook watching this, I don't know how it works. But still do the each one teach one, hit the like button, come over here, join us on YouTube. Hold on for a second. Let me put the link in here. That's the link for anybody who wants to come on. Right? Julie TV says Black woman wants to know if the vaccines is mandatory. Not yet. You know what I'm saying? Fly phrase from the Providence Plantation. Not yet. We was just discussing that where those is kind of like local statutes that, they can try to they can try to withhold, benefits of society. You know what I mean? Like they get to tell you that look, you can't you can't your kids can't go to school or something unless you have the shot. But really, when you say mandatory, what are they gonna do? Which, that's a conspiracy theory, of course, that if you don't take it, what they're going to do is lock you up in a concentration camp. But what's going to end up happening is the concentration camp is not going to be enough cells. So Du Bois said it could be a waste of time if the if the if the virus is already mutated and they're giving you a vaccine for the first one, the one that came before the mutation. As he says here, we are yet to know which vaccine will deal with what strain, or if there's one to handle or numerous strains out there. So Bill Gates said he was excited about working with the new administration, speaking about Biden and Harris. Well, I'm gonna tell you, look, that's going to be one sign. You can say what you want to say. I would take Trump over Bill Gates. If he let Bill Gates listen, if he appointed Bill Gates the Surgeon General, if all of a sudden you hear Bill Gates is the new Surgeon General, you will know that everybody who voted made the wrong decision. Well, not everybody, but Bill Gates? Nah, man. Or that's the first thing that came up. It was a news story. What was the what did it pop up on that story about what happened with the guy from Pfizer? So Dr. Fauci is saying that in April 2021, the vaccine will be ready for use between the summer to fall next year. So that means it's still this year is still going to run rampant, huh? Why since it was too deadly to just throw a vaccine out there. As long as he say he ain't taking no vaccine. What's this? Arima Uncensored said, do you believe in the doctrine and revelation where it say man will not be able to buy or sell without a mark, which some people perceive as a microchip that comes along with the vaccine? I mean, I'm pretty sure, we've been past uh, many stages in history where we've seen that you know, I'm not sure, but I mean, yeah, I guess you could call it a doctrine since it's happened many times. You know what I'm saying? But for that matter, even when you got paper money, you got a mark on it. You got marks on it. That's how you determine, because you got all these papers, right? And they all the same size, they weigh the same, but their value is different because of the mark that it got on it. You know what I'm saying? When you look at the money and you see that it's signed by certain officials, you know what I'm saying? Those is marks. We don't have to go, I don't think we need to go through any more, how many marks is on a dollar bill. You know what I'm saying? So it's not necessarily believing in it, but this is true, in any situation where we see uh, some outsider, some other society, right, that we not a part of, that we not a mainstream part of that society. When we see some other society starting to take over, right, and especially one of those aspects of them taking over is going to be them controlling how goods is moved. You know what I'm saying? How we do trading. So the Sunni schools, most of the Sunni schools just went to home study now. Calm Islamic said, I'd rather get the virus, beat it, and get immunity. You know what I had heard about this right here, what you were saying? Well, one aspect, you were saying that they got to do research in particular from is it good for babies or old folks? One thing I seen they were saying is that it's good, like it's been approved for 16 to I think 85. So I'm not sure what that means either. In terms of them making it mandatory in schools. What they'll probably do, one thing I could see might be in the outcome of it not being approved is that then they'll just uh, go to a system where they're testing the kids all the time. You know what I'm saying? They're doing, all the contact tracing and us. West Coast Wise said, I never got the flu shot. I don't play that. Why is it free? And who's benefiting from it? Yeah, I never really understood what the point was. Like, in some of these vaccines, I don't really know how effective they are. Like, is the flu shot, like, does it really work? Especially when, now, you know, I knew that already, but it's become even more evident that it's more than one kind of flu. So what happens if you get the other kind? Tom said, I want to know how come they got COVID vaccines ready, but no HIV vaccine. I'm going to tell you something that
Peace.
peace. So what happens if you get the other kind? You got to turn your sound down or something.
No.
What's that?
Tell you something about that you gotta be aware of. They got it's a new drug right now, right? And apparently it decreases the amount of HIV virus in your body or something, to where it says if you take this medicine, then you can't transmit HIV. So I'm just telling you, just in case, because you know what that means. That means that it's going to be people with HIV having sex with people and not saying nothing because they've been told by their doctor that you can't pass it on like that.
Yeah, I heard about that one too. I forgot his name.
So be aware. Just be aware. Public service announcement. You know what I'm saying? But that is though a good question though. How come they got COVID vaccines but no HIV vaccines? But be aware. Where we at? I've been doing too much talking again today. So what it says, Pfizer is going to build a research and development facility in Wuhan, China. And this says November 2009. This was a news story. That would be, that would just feed everything to the conspiracy theorists that they need right there. Like you built the research and development facility over there, and then you end up being the first person with the vaccine. I think we might need Biden and Harris to open up a little investigation. We might need.
Yeah, it's like the cops investigating the cops.
Yeah. Mr. H, you said you got an email trying to get you to volunteer for the vaccine. Oh, you mean for the test, to be tested for the? Yeah, see, nah, man, I can't play like that. I'd rather I'm good. I've never really been like a sickly person. You know what I'm saying? I go years sometimes without even catching a cold. So to go somewhere for them, when I first, heard even the concept of vaccines, that wait a minute, you mean I don't have this germ in my body and you're gonna put it like I'm talking about when I was a kid, when they first explained it to us, like, wait. I don't understand. Right. Yeah, we was talking about that. Uh how talcum powder, all of a sudden it came out that it caused cancer. You understand what I'm saying? So that was all those years of those people, in reality being a scientific experiment. You see what I'm saying? But it's not until after, because see, that's what they're doing anyway. A lot of times when they tell you it was a new study, they don't necessarily conduct a new experiment. Sometimes they look at an experiment that already happened, right? And then they just analyze it differently. Like in these people's analysis over here, maybe they didn't consider pre-existing conditions, or maybe they didn't consider age or something. So then these new people will come with a study. You've seen that with Mike Brown, where everybody that gave an autopsy, they didn't go in and examine the body themselves. They just looked at the report that was given from the first examination. Business Insider is a serious site. Business Insider said that the president, the CEO of Pfizer, sold 62% of his stock the day that the vaccine was announced. How much did he make? How much would that be? Cool, 2.5 billion. How much?
Yeah,
How
that jumped up a
how
lot
much?
as soon as they announced it.
That's what I'm saying. How much? How much did he make?
Because I was trying to invest in it, but then it was like too high, and yeah, nah.
7 said making it mandatory is extortion. In a sense, man should have the freedom to decide for himself. But see, there's also just a certain thing, right? Where, and this is one of the battles. You know what I'm saying? Within government, I'm talking about just between them. Uh, the Constitution enumerates a set amount of rights for the government. And then in there, it says all other rights is retained by the people. You understand what I'm saying? But now Congress is supposed to be the representatives of the people. And so there's certain things, you can invoke certain rights. You understand what I'm saying? If you know that degree of the law, you know what this law is. Like, wait a minute, you know, it doesn't say in the Constitution that you can give me no medicine. You understand what I'm saying? So, and whatever rights the states take have to still coincide with the federal Constitution.
Mm.
And so at this point, that's why I said it's it'd be difficult for them to make it mandatory. They could just, right now, okay, they saying it's not going to be ready to the third quarter. or right now. So we don't know how much pain is going to come right now. You understand what I'm saying? Like right now, they could bring the pain to where uh, by the time they giving it out, you might do it for a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. You understand what I'm saying? If it gets that rough, you know, you're gonna have people that go for it. So like they would be saying now we're not making it mandatory because you don't have to eat the sandwich.
Indeed.
According to 1010 wins all Sunni. All right, so the whole Sunni is closed now. They'll resume in the fall. Oh man. Guess my other daughter will be coming back soon.
So, G, do you think they'll have executive order in the name of public safety? Because the more that it's like, okay, this is for the safety of the public, the less rights, the more rights they take away from you.
Right.
Kind of like what happened with 9/11 and stuff like that. Even though it's a different thing that happened.
They got a couple of things that they expand their rights greatly through. You know what I'm saying? There's the public safety. There's the national security, of course. There's the commerce clause. You know what I'm saying? Which states that Congress has the right to regulate anything that goes through commerce. But when you're in a capitalist society, everything goes through commerce. You know what I'm saying? So they able to greatly expand their rights through that. I think that's just a fine line. You know what I'm saying? And I think, whether it was organic or not, right? At this point, it's kind of locked in. Maybe if it goes back to the point where you got, full employment and everything. But I'm saying as for right now, it's kind of locked in that if something happens that people don't like, streets is going to get packed. You understand what I'm saying? And I think that I think he's going to have some leeway at first, right? Because, at least from where I was standing, it seemed like the people that was against Trump was a little bit louder than the people that was for him. You know what I'm saying? Out in the streets. So, I think because of that, Joe Biden is going to have some leeway. You know what I'm saying? But I think the first thing he's may run into trouble with, right, is if he starts appointing too much of the old guard. You know what I'm saying? Meaning, you start appointing Bill Gates to the health cabinet or whatever you understand what I'm saying? It's certain things he's gonna have to stay kind of with it's going to be a fine line he's got to walk because in their minds, like, yeah, you had these dudes like Bernie Sanders, but see, he couldn't win. You understand what I mean? The only people that could win is you got to be an establishment type. So see, what's her name? Kamala Harris. She represents somebody who is like, okay, you can appease both sides because the progressive people is going to say, well, she's a woman of color. You understand what I mean? So we can accept that. She agreed with, but at the same time, on the establishment plane, we can't forget when she said, look, I would never pass any law that would just benefit Black people. You understand what I'm saying? So she's a safe bet for the establishment. You know what I mean? But he's going to have to make the rest of his picks like that, where, like if he starts appointing, AOC to the what do you call it, the Treasury Department, you understand what I'm saying? Then you're gonna have backlash, from the capitalists. Like, whoa, we
Yeah.
don't. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If you appoint, if you just tell them, look, we're gonna keep the guy that Trump had, then you're gonna get the streets packed up with the, kind of the coalition, the Antifa BLM coalition. That's, to me, it looks like it's been formed over the summer.
Yeah.
The women said, I think they linked some of these vaccines to autism too. I mean, well, look, the jury is still out on that. I can't really say because it's one of those things where, a lot of different chemicals, you know what I'm saying? A lot of different things, you know what I'm saying? Our behavior has changed so much. You know what I'm saying? So, there's a rise in autism, but there's so many different things. You know what I'm saying? And so that's one of the problems, right? Is that, okay, it may not be the vaccine, right? It may not be the Roundup. You know what I'm talking about? The Monsanto stuff. It may not be, the lead in the water, but what's your total load of poison that you end up with? You understand what I'm saying? Like if during the day you're taking a level of poison from everything that's not dangerous, but then by the end of the day,
Yeah.
you understand what I'm saying? Just with the same way, no one thing that you eat is going to provide all the nutrients you need. But by the end of the day, you've accumulated, enough to have a positive impact on the body. How do we know that all these different poisons, you know what I'm saying, it's not adding up to something? So, I don't know per se that is linked. I stopped dealing with them before that claim started being made. But
That's why it's good to fast too.
right. So in the shelters, they traumatizing the kids with well, how often do they have to take the COVID testing it? What you said, Queen Medina, PrEP is HIV meds. Look at people's tongue, it tells a story. You can tell if people got HIV by looking at their tongue. That's some knowledge. Next time I see you, you gotta break that down for me. You smell good as nuts, man. Hey man, I don't know 793. That's what they got. Like you said on the commercial. That's what I seen. Okay, you said, how can I put this question in a hotel fashion without accepting advance from someone who is taking that drug? No, that's what I'm saying. Like I'm not. Look. I'm just a person that I was always that kid where it's like, look, let me see you do it first. Yeah, I'm not the type. I've never been a crash test dummy. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm gonna be the first one. Like you about to jump in that water. All right, let me see you jump in there first. You know what I'm saying? Whatever it is. So, when you're talking about, and that's just something that I see about science, is that, part of the scientific method, right? Within the scientific method, there's nothing wrong with being wrong. And I'm not saying that to disparage the scientific method. I'm saying that, listen, sometimes that's what you got to do. If you got 1,000 things right here, right, you got to eliminate one by one, down till you get to, where you can make a more educated decision. But look, in the scientific method, if this substance mixed with this substance is wrong, okay, I learned that that's not the substance. You understand what I'm saying? But if we get to the point where we like, yo, we just believe in the scientific method to the level where we think that it cannot be wrong. Now you've crossed over the line into the religious aspect. You understand what I'm saying? So, in terms of any, I'm not dealing with no experimental drugs. You know what I'm saying? In the street, in the in the hospital, at home, like I gotta see you do it first. You understand what I'm saying? See, it's something I like to tell people in New York, right? You know, see, I heard I read this article one time, and it said that the people that was born in the baby boomers, right, is known for experimenting with drugs. And he said the people who was born in the 40s and the 50s, they experimented with drugs in the 60s. He said, son, by the 70s, the people who was born in the late 50s or in the 50s, you know what I'm saying? The experiment was over. Drugs was proven. And then those people that was at the end of the baby booming, the late 50s going into the 60s, that's who, at least in New York, that's who became your crackheads. That's like the crack generation is like from 1955 to 1965. And anybody that you know from New York between those ages, it's a good chance they smoke crack. Those is the people that was in 1980 when crack came out. Those are the people that was 16 to 25. You understand what I'm saying? Those are the people that, somebody my age, I'm not old enough to be smoking cigarettes, let alone smoking crack. Not saying that there was nobody in my age group, but by the time you get to my group, you're dealing with a different generation where, you got two sets of old timers now. You know what I'm saying? You got the old timers that was outside when we first came out. When we first came out to play to go to the park, and you start seeing, it's everybody's on dope. You know what I'm saying? Like, the Vietnam people is, they all around, but they not the only ones. You know what I'm saying? I'm saying it's, everybody's on dope at that time. And then a couple years later, crack comes out, and it's really like, yo, things sped up, because that's what happened when you go from dope to crack. You know what I'm saying? But so, for a little generation of people that was born, in the late 60s, early 70s, we not going to be, that we not the Molly generation and all. You know what I'm saying? That's you're gonna have to get to age groups. Like, see, right now, like for every drug, there's a cool period. You know what I'm saying? Like people smoking crack at first, they staying up all night and You know what I'm saying? They partying and everything until the addiction part really comes down. See, I never seen the good part of dope. I never seen the party time of that. When everybody was getting into it and it seemed like a cool thing to be doing, it never seemed cool to me. Like before, I didn't even have the knowledge then, but I knew it's something about that. Like, look, you're supposed to be a doctor or a nurse to be doing it. You know what I'm saying? You're not supposed to just be sticking pins like that. I don't know what you can't just be sticking the needle like that, man. What's wrong with you? You understand what I'm saying? Then I seen the people that, they was the cool kids. You know what I'm saying? They wasn't dudes that I was around, but they was people that I would see when I'm on my way to the store, people that, they maintain with my older brothers or whatever, you know what I'm saying? And I seen how they went down, you know what I mean? So, just in general, I'm not taking no experimental drugs. I'm not. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I can bear witness to that because coming up in the early 2000s, we had in the West Coast what was called the hyphy movement out in Oakland.
Right.
And, yeah, so the main guy in the hyphy movement was Mac Dre, and he was pushing Thiz really hard, which is ecstasy. So, and they had different kind of ecstasy. They had like Transformers, Bart Simpson kind of. They had a whole thing, and it just my generation got caught up in that. Now I never took this. I was like maybe 14, 15 when this came out.
Mm-hmm.
But like my siblings, everybody was doing this at this time because it was a party drug. So
Right.
yeah, that's the first time pills really hit over here, and it was disguised as Thiz, and it was just a party drug, and a lot of people was ODing from it. If it was your first time, you would have to cut it up into fours, and just take 1/4 of it. If you took the whole thing, you would die or you would overdose or whatever. So yeah, that's something I bear witness to being on the West Coast.
Yeah. So, but I'm gonna tell you one thing though about my generation though, is that see we got addicted to selling the drugs.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Taking them we wasn't too keen on that. You know what I'm saying? But Brilliant Elevation is digging up some information about Pfizer that I'm sure is going to be all over the YouTube conspiracy channel soon. Pfizer is expanding its research and development efforts in China and announced plans to build a new facility. An agreement has been signed to establish a new Pfizer Research and Development Center in Wuhan, which the firm says represents an expansion of its existing facility in Shanghai. We'll see. We gotta see what Alex Jones got to say about that. Blue case that after the company makes all the money it needs to make before they get found out, then they put out the warnings, right? I wonder what's going to be the warnings on this. Like, I wonder what's going to be, like when that part of the commercial come, when they say, you can take this right here for, if you got a hangnail, you can take this medicine, side effects, your whole finger could fall off. You know what I'm saying? You like, I think I'd rather just let it grow out. I wonder what's going to be the side effects on this. If they announce them, they might just say, "Well, look, it's statistically negligible." Tom Bishop. what you said right here, you was building with the guys on how you do the knowledge on the day's mathematics. I got two conflicting schools of thought. What would those be? I'm born intelligent.
He said I was wrapped in knowledge. Interesting.
Hold on, let me catch up to these. So Pfizer's CEO sold $5.6 million in stock the day he announced promising vaccine. While Paul R. LaMonica, CNN Business, yeah, they all over him. Listen, if he get covered by what was the first one you said? Business Insider and CNN Business, they all over him. Like, whoa, whoa, whoa there, buddy. Whoa, 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 whoa. What do you know that we don't know? Whoa, 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 whoa there, buddy. Queen Medina said the lockdown or confinement is wrong, period. People in the shelter system are threatened with police if they don't comply with the lockdown until a negative COVID test. So what's this here? Don Bishop says he got off the phone with El Sincere. He told me 8 was right, right and exact the way I broke it down. Today's Supreme Mathematics, in contrast to another guy who said I had it wrong. What is this? Said divine education says so when dealing with supreme mathematics, we don't say about being born to. He said that was grafted knowledge, knowing you truth. That's how we've been doing, building on today's math. And so, what did he say? You say, what did he say was the right way?
G, do you say all being born to?
Yeah, I say all being born to.
Oh, okay. That's how I was taught to. Break it down to simple.
Yeah, you know, it was really in recent years that I, realized that it was any real type of discrepancy dealing with that. You know, before it was, pretty much, some brothers said, that borns or, whatever they say. I didn't know it was I guess, but yeah, what did you determine between the two calls? Would you say Google a person's tongue with HIV?
Yeah.
I don't know. I want to Google it. What's
I'm sure it looks nasty.
Is it one of those things that is one of those things? Is it one of those things that you need a strong stomach for? So Rakeem is on the set right here. He said, if anybody needs a Justice Cipher born in Central New Jersey, $16.50 an hour. Guess you gotta get in touch with Rakeem for the rest of the information on that.
You big time. Now people posting up jobs and stuff.
Oh, so the company is called Geodis. in Monroe, New Jersey. Yeah, how much I think I'm what? I'm like down right now.
You're 17, I think.
I mean, yeah, 983. Yeah, I'm almost in the business right now. Man. You know, big time, big time. Uh, so SW said it was the same kind of ages in New Jersey. You know what I'm saying? Where 1955 to 1965 is the crack generation. Yeah, I mean, I guess he knows something. Yeah, but see, when somebody tell you something is wrong, then you got to ask them what's right. I mean, it's got to be a reason. You said any guys in Tampa, Florida. Um, yeah, I might do something in a minute too.
I'll be around tomorrow. I get that. Yeah. I got the movement in control about Friday. So next week we heavy into beats.
Yeah, I gotta go back up top and finish mixing them jumpers too.
I'm going up there tomorrow to check see out tomorrow too.
All right.
So I don't know if you're going up tomorrow too or you
I might because I got another thing I gotta do at 4 o'clock.
All right, so I'll text you tomorrow once I'm headed up there, see where you at.
All right, bet.
Okay.
You said you can tell the conditions of a person via the tongue, but that's like that. What's that? Homeopathy? You gotta have training. But Infinite Mind is down in Florida. I don't know if he's on the West Coast though. I think he's over there on the East Coast. He's not on today, but if you I think he's at Infinite Seven Mind on Instagram. Either way, he'll be able to put you in touch with the guys that's down there in that area. But yeah, that's peculiar. I don't know. I can't call it Queen Medina with that.
Hey, yo, G, what exactly do y'all mean when you say jump offs? I think that's a little before my time.
Actually, that's one of those words that's kind of like Smurf.
Smurf?
Yeah. You kind of got to understand the whole cipher. Depending on the cipher that you're building in and the people you building with, they understand what you mean. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because I mean, how it sounds, I can kind of get the context, but Yeah, I just, that's a slang word that I heard for many years and never
So look,
got.
cipher is a word like Smurf. You see what I'm saying? When you
Yep.
say, oh, I'm going over there to this cipher to build in a cipher.
Yeah.
To those that don't know, they don't know. You understand what I mean?
Yeah.
It's this right here. Oh, 793rd said, think of all the political, civil, and freedom rights leaders that generation of kids within that age group saw or were aware of getting killed when they were babies from 1955 to 1968. That's another, you know, kind of each age group is growing up, or have grown up with, a different set of heroes because of that. You know what I'm saying? Uh, you know, like you said, you got how many, like not just from those people that with who they seen, like those people was born in the 20s and the 30s, who they saw getting killed, what I mean, maybe the early 40s, but then you have these generations and generations, right, of civil and freedom rights leaders. They got, addicted to drugs before they got a chance to really, live their full potential. You know what I'm saying? And then you had the aftermath of all the children who now that knowledge was never translated, you know what I'm saying, from, these older generations, you know, just the cohesiveness, of the community and everything. These things wasn't able to be translated. So, right now, when you see different people, they might be good speakers, but the content matter that they speaking on. Yes, and I mean, this is a person who has the potential, just like, when Malcolm X was doing whatever he was doing, in the streets, I'm sure that people who knew him then, would say, yeah, one thing that Malcolm always was slick talk. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure, that's one thing, man. Man, he always, man, you do one thing wrong, man, Malcolm be all over. Yes, you know what I'm saying? One thing about Malcolm, man, he always can put a plan together, man. He bring the right people together, man. We be
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? But think of how many people, never got a chance to make that kind of, reversal, what I'm saying, a path, what I'm saying, to where they could use all of those same qualities, for positivity. You know what I'm saying? And then just with the lack of that, even where, some of the last, what you said now, when you think of the people like, Huey Newton,
Mm-hmm.
he ends up having to deal with both of them, you know what I'm saying, losing his greatness through the drugs, you know what I'm saying, and then being killed, you know what I'm saying, even it wasn't the same type of, it wasn't the same situation, but, it's not the same situation as say, what's the brother from Chicago?
Fred Hampton.
Fred Hampton, you know what I'm saying? But
so there's some people that have some conspiracy about Huey P. and how they had to assassinate his character before they assassinated him.
I do, I've seen that for a long time about society. You know what I'm saying? That, you know, when I first noticed it was when Sammy Davis Jr. returned. You know, and you know, Sammy Davis Jr. was, you know, he was somebody that, you know, started as a kid, you know, for generations and generations. You know, he was an entertainer that, you know, everybody knew, you know, and you know, he was like I guess not for everybody because, you know, he's mingling a lot with mainstream society, you know what I'm saying? But
And the Rat Pack.
yeah, right. So, but you know, he's still somebody that is looked up to, you know, at least somewhat in the black community as a high achiever. You know what I'm saying? But when he passed away, you know, it turned out that he was bankrupt, you know what I'm saying? And they had it on the news, like the people coming to repossess his stuff from his wife. Like they was taking out furniture and all that type of stuff. And just at the time, you know, I'm thinking like, yo, Frank, you can't loan him, you know, you couldn't fix this, Frank. You know what? I didn't, you know, and that was the first time I saw, you know, I thought the same thing, you know, when I first seen the OJ thing, like, yo, Arnold, you're not gonna say this is your friend and you don't think he would do this. You understand what I'm saying? You know, and that's when I started seeing that, you know, every black man, they always got to put something, you know, on you. They always got to somehow diminish you. You understand what I'm saying? So that you don't ultimately end up being a hero. You know what I'm saying? You know, so, you know, whoever it is, like, that's when I started to look back, you know what I'm saying? And see, like, you know, the things that they would say. And look, the stuff may be true or not. Yes, I mean, but you choosing to cover it, like you're gonna put this stuff out there about Martin Luther King and his wife, but you're not putting it out there about John Kennedy.
Oh yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? You know,
Yeah.
you want people to look at him in a certain way. Y'all selling this whole Camelot thing, and it don't work if we let people know who he really is. So that's definitely a aspect that I, you know, yeah, Bill Cosby, you know what I'm saying?
Who was that entertainer that said every black man has an asterisk next to their name?
Right. I don't know who, but yeah.
That guy was like a comedian or something. Got hella flack for
that. You know, I guess that was before the days of getting canceled. You know, you say the wrong thing now, you get canceled. You know what I'm saying? Halftime has an interesting question here. How come the Smurfs wore pants, boots, and hats with no shirt? You know, that's the type of thing I used to wonder. One thing, you know, Smurfs was a little bit, I was aging out there. Like I saw the very first couple of years. And then even in those first couple of years, I really liked Gargamel. I mean,
he would be the rebel.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But then, you know, definitely by the time like Smurfette and all that was coming, I was, you know, I was starting to see this kind of girl power thing come into the cartoons that I wasn't with that at all. You know what I'm saying?
That's kind of like why when the Hulk transforms, his pants don't rip off. Like that's kind of the same thing.
Yeah, you see what I'm saying? And then you started getting these, you know, strawberry shortcakes and My Little Pony type cartoons. You know, that type of stuff wasn't for me. You know.
Yeah,
I didn't. But like I said, by that time, I was already aging out. Where like I got other things to do. Wild cartoons you on. But Frey said nobody black in Hollywood comes out clean. They always got to dirty up their legacy. So D.L. Hughley was the comedian that made that statement.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I want to see what they got on Denzel when he returned. Black people gonna be pissed about that.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, he's managed to keep his nose clean. You know what I'm saying? In a good, he just he's definitely a good person to ask that question about, because he's kept his nose clean as far as he hasn't gotten into a lot of trouble. He hasn't had no spats. You know what I mean? Complaining about how much he getting paid and nothing. So for that he's been from Nate's standpoint, he's been a good Negro. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? He's been a credit to his race. And they made a lot of money off of him.
Yeah, he seemed like a stand-up New York guy.
He's from New York?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah,
I know he been around here. You know what I'm saying? But nah, he don't. Like, he has a kind of New York is a place where you can tell most of the time where somebody is from by how they act. You know what I'm saying? How they speak and different things of that nature. I can't tell you, like he seemed like a Queens dude. Like it's some people that he's from Brooklyn, right? You kind of tell, but Sidney Poitier. See, Sidney Poitier was, he was another person that was, he was a good Negro.
Yeah, he's coming to dinner and all that stuff.
It didn't rock the boat so much. Yeah, Denzel is kind of a magical Negro. Sidney Poitier, another magical Negro. You know what I'm saying? Oh, that's what it is. Denzel's from Mount Vernon. So, I mean, I still, but.
Because how his son talks about him, and like I could see some hood when Denzel's kind of like speaking. He did this like what is it called? When the actors go to that in the class where they would talk on stage at this famous artist like school or whatever. I forgot the name of it. But anyways, like when he's telling the story, some of his New York or hood kind of came out, and I could tell. Plus, how his son describes him, yeah. John David Washington.
But yeah, I don't know. I mean, he did. Wasn't that his daughter that was in the movies? That wasn't him. He had a daughter that was doing like pornographic movies or something at one time. No, that wasn't him. That was Lawrence Fishburne.
Yeah. Supposedly Denzel can rhyme.
Come on, man, stop it. Rhyme.
How far is Mount Vernon?
Well, Harry Belafonte, when him, I think they was able, and I think with some other people too, Sidney Poitier, where they was kind of able to just fade him out. You know what I'm saying? Where Harry Belafonte was somebody that, by the time, he passed away, how many people in the younger generation really knew him?
Hold on, when did Harry die?
Harry Belafonte still alive?
Yeah, I thought you.
Man, Harry Belafonte is not still alive. Harry Belafonte.
I thought they were parading him around not that long ago, talking about.
Well, get out of here, man. Harry Belafonte. Oh, snap! Harry Belafonte still alive.
Yeah.
93 years old. Get the fuck out of here. But you see what I'm saying about they able to fade him out where I didn't even know he's still alive.
Yeah,
Harry Belafonte. I didn't know you was still kicking.
I don't really know how to feel about Harry because he kind of played both lines, like the civil rights, not leader, but like. They also say he was the first one to sell 1 million records.
Didn't know that. But
what's the banana?
Harry Belafonte, and I'm not sure how Sidney Poitier got in there, but Harry Belafonte, the Dorothy Dandridges, the Lena Horns, you know what I'm saying? They was from that talented 10th, kind of system where they was sent to go have success because they knew that they would have more success than the average person. Not necessarily that Lena Horne probably wasn't the greatest singer on the chitlin circuit. You understand what I'm saying? But with her look, she would be able to go and perform in the mainstream a little bit more and be accepted. You know what I'm saying? Harry Belafonte and them was a part of that, and I never really saw him speaking about it. You know what I'm saying? But I think they was people, right, that ended up really believing that it could be some type of progress. You know what I'm saying? Like they really thought that, or not that it would be no progress or any progress, but that they could make the type of progress where they would be respected, man to man. You know what I'm saying? Oh, fly phrase from the Providence Plantations is his physical degree. They just turn understand and build. Happy born day to fly phrase over in the Providence Plantations.
Peace, happy born day.
Somebody needs to write Joe Biden a letter. Then you got to get rid of that. How you move to some place called the Providence Plantations? But and a lot of them did benefit a little bit more. Because see, now you can go separate from the rest of the neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? Now it becomes acceptable for you to live on that other side of the line. Even though you're living in the worst accommodations over on that side of the line.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? You know, kind of the same way, you know, you had a lot of brothers and sisters that moved to France. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Because supposedly, you know, there was no racism in France. You know, you know, a lot of these things, you know, I don't know if you know, they didn't see themselves as magical Negroes. You understand what I'm saying? You know, they wanted to be able to, you know, just blend in with this mainstream society that they was, you know, and a lot of them learned that, you know, once your act was over, you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Then you got to join back with the rest of the Negroes. You know what I'm saying? Like we intrigued by you, you know, your entertainment ability and all of that. You know what I'm saying? You know, your exotic look, all of these things. But at the end of the day, you know, just when we look at the history, right? You know, look at what France is doing, you know, around the world to original people at the same time. You understand what I'm saying? Like at the time when you got people like, you know, Josephine and Jack Johnson going over there saying that, you know, France is totally different and they treat black people like equals, right? Looking at the same time when they carving up Africa, you know what I'm saying? When they, you know, all these different places, you know, they was in Vietnam before the Americans was in Vietnam. Yes, I'm saying all over the Middle East, you know, you know, their policies against the original people would tend to betray that. You see what I mean? The same way as with Malcolm X, when you're saying that is, you know, you went to Mecca and didn't see any racism, you know, and you know, I think it's pretty clear that you know, whether it's from indoctrination or whatever it is, you know, around the globe, uh, you know, there's pressure put on the original man in every society. You know what I'm saying? You you know, just in terms of who's going to be exploited, you know what I'm saying, and who's going to, you know, have any rights, you know, who's going to have any rights and to enjoy and the benefit of that society. You know what I'm saying?
I read that Haiti is still paying restitution.
I did hear that. One thing I read said that they was paying until 1978, and another thing I read said they just stopped paying like a year or two ago. But yeah, the debt that they you know, imposed on Haiti, you know, because you'll get the same thing with people from other you know, European nations too. Well, look, you know, we ended our slave trade at this point in time, right? But then you have, you know, somebody that's from India, right? You know what I'm saying? Or Pakistan or Bengal or one of these, you know, that was a part of the British Raj would say, yeah, you gave up slavery over there because you came over here. You know what I'm saying? You didn't need to do slavery over there. You over here doing your thing. You see what I'm saying? So, you know, yeah, we can't get caught up in that. Just the same way, you know, we can't get caught up, you know, in, you know, what kind of things, you know, like right now in this country, you know, you got Van Jones on TV crying, you know, like, you know, all of a sudden America changed. Look, you know, some things is just a matter of language, you know, where, you know, Trump is saying, listen, you know, fuck those black people. What are we what are we worried about them for? Let them do their thing. I don't care what they do. You want me to what? Nah, fuck them. I'm not doing that. You understand what I'm saying? Now you got Biden on the other hand that he's going to come in. Listen, we've got to, help these underprivileged children, in a way. But then what's going to be the things that he imposed, kind of with this what they call it, the iron fist with the velvet glove on it.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? So, in that same way, we can't get caught up and think, oh, because, Trump didn't get elected. Because I'm going to tell you another thing that's a part of reality. I heard that Biden got more votes than anybody in the history of presidential elections. And then I heard that Trump got the second most votes out of everybody in the history of presidential elections. You know what I'm saying? Now, from what I've seen, they say that the difference is like 5 million votes.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That's what I'm saying. So what I'm saying is, I don't know what the calculation is, but if it's 65 million people, I'm saying those 60 or 65 million people ain't going nowhere.
Yeah, they hit 77 and 72.
All right, so 72 million people is not going nowhere. You understand what I'm saying? That's not 72 million old time racists that's still left from the 50s.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying? That's young, that's old. You know what I'm saying? So, and I mean, in head to head, they're the gun owners. The Trump supporters, you know what I'm saying? So they, you might got a little numbers on them, but the guns, the guns is up. You understand what I'm saying? So, which if they get in the battle, I'm mind my business anyway. You understand what I'm saying? But it's this, let us not be fooled is my point. You know what I mean? That lesson of the day. You know what I'm saying? That we gotta really just watch the language. You know what I'm saying? Because how I already discussed before, we took from them everything except their language. And so there's ways that they use language, and how they word what they're doing. You know what I'm saying? Like Bill Gates got kicked out of a lot of countries because he was supposed to be giving out some type of immunization, and they found out that he was sterilizing people. You understand what I'm saying? So he's not coming in the name of genocide. He's coming in the name of saying, you do this or do that, but you got to look, deeply between the layers of what's being said sometimes. You know what I'm saying? And what's not being said. You know what I mean? And you got to watch these people because, this is a Hotep channel. So I don't want to, I don't want to make it seem like, we talking about a Eve type thing, but it was a black woman who the doctors worked through for the Tuskegee experiment.
Indeed. Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? So all of these is different layers that we got to be aware of. Not saying it's got to be a black woman, but I'm saying just a friendly face, that's coming, but what they instituting, is still the iron fist.
That's the perfect example of why we're not pro-black.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Because everybody and everything is going to need to be examined.
True indeed.
But tonight though, I'm gonna knock off a little bit early. You know what I'm saying? Tomorrow, of course, is Sunya at 7. I think I figured out what happened to that other live video. So I'm gonna end up posting that probably tonight. You know what I'm saying? The other civilization class, I don't know what happened to it. But other than that, I'll be back on Friday to see everybody that made it this far. Do it each one, teach one, hit the like button. You know what I'm saying? Share this on your other pages, your Facebook, your Twitter, Instagram, etc., etc. And I'm gonna say peace until Friday.
Peace, everyone.